Let's see. See if I can get her back in here, y'all. All right.
Hey, you're kind of spotty too, just a little bit. So
yeah, it was doing something real weird. It had kicked you out, and it asked me to accept your request again and whatnot. But anywho, we here.
we hear
We
so much energy in this space.
I know. So for those of you, if it's your first time checking out Co-Creating, it's a segment that I started doing collaboratively. I've been doing it, I think, 2 years, but last year I started to invite people to co-create with me. And so I'm picking that back up this year. And my sister Christine is my first guest of the year. Yes, you are. Girl, I wasn't even sure if I was going to pick back up with it because I got so many other things that I'm being led to do.
Mm-hmm.
And then I was like, I want to chop it up with my sis. So we're gonna go live with it. Yeah. And I was thinking the perfect thing for us to talk about, because we talk about it so much anyway, is astrology and human design. Because the whole concept behind co-creating is that I want to share with the collective things that have helped me on my healing journey. And although I'm a bit more well-versed with astrology, my newfound knowledge of human design, thanks to you, is helping me as well. And so in this time of, like you said, high energy and big lessons and transformation and stuff, I think it just behooves us to have a better understanding of those concepts and how they apply to us.
Yes, exactly. Yes.
So how did you get into, I'm not trying to interview you per se, definitely have a conversation.
I'm vibing with you, sis, so we doing whatever you feel. I'm here for
never asked you, like, how did you get into astrology? Because you've told me about kind of how you got into human design and how it has helped you. But I don't think we've ever touched that perspective of astrology. So how did you get into astrology?
Yeah, astrology, I would say got into it really, really deeply in 2020-ish. So we were all home, pandemic. And I just started studying and getting deeper into it. And I was
like, what the hell? I know what's going on down here, so what the hell going on up there?
Exactly.
Was that what it was?
That's what it was. Like, what the heck is going on? And actually, I didn't get too deep in it. I started studying it, but I was part of this cohort with Holisticism. It's a business entrepreneurship group, and I was in that online space, and I got a DM from he calls himself the chart coach, and he slid into my DMs, and he said, your success is my success. And he was an astrologer for over 20 years, and I sat in my inbox for a while, and I didn't do much with it. And then when I started reading and getting into human design, I reached out to him, and we worked for over a year. We met every week, and we would go over the astrology of the week. We would go over high times and low times to meditate based on the planets and the transits and what was going on. So during that process, I had a really I was blessed to have an astrology coach that I journeyed with every week to see not only what was going on, with the sun, the moon, but I got to know all of the planets, all of the aspects, and how it's transitioning into our lives and the optimal times that we can use. And so he was really a catalyst for me getting deeper into astrology. So ever since then, I've been tracking my stuff every day.
Awesome. That mentorship is so important. I know my understanding of it has come from more like just keeping up with what's going on with the collective, as well as like how astrology affects the collective as well as me personally, but not necessarily studying it like an actual, not like a student from a hierophant type of energy. You know what I'm saying?
I
Like
know
more like
exactly.
independent study
Yeah.
than actual working with someone to learn the transits and the aspects and the conjunctions and the squares and the sextiles and the, you know what I'm saying? And so that's why I enjoy talking to you, because I feel like I'll be learning more about it.
Yeah, and that's where the good stuff is. That's where how you can see how what's going on in the stars really affects us down here. And when you notice those different things, you can, learn to shift a different way, or really recognize when, okay, somebody's off right now, or technology's wonky. I know why, and I'm not gonna, maybe necessarily project kind of what I'm feeling on them. I'll notice that, like today, for example. I think we have, it's actually a beautiful day in astrology to have some of these conversations, because we have the moon in conjunction with Chiron. So, and which I know we want to talk about, but something like that. So the moon is in the heart of or the Chiron is in like really, really, really close to the moon. So we know the moon is about our emotions. And so when it's really close to Chiron, which is the wounded healer, it's really bringing some things up to the surface that makes us feel things emotionally and makes us want to, maybe some of our woundings might get activated. So it's good to know these type of things, because if something comes up, it's like, I'm feeling really sensitive today. You'd be like, oh, the moon is conjunct with Chiron. I think Mercury is also conjunct with Chiron today. So we're having conversation around healing and things like that. So if you're planning ahead, you're just like, okay, this is going to be a good day to come and talk about some of the healing modalities that have helped, us in our lives. So just getting a little
Definitely
bit
helps
more intimate.
you. Right. It helps to get more intimate, and it helps you, like you said, to be able to plan and be like, okay, if I plan this certain event or whatever in accordance to what's going on astrologically, then I can potentially avoid struggle,
Yeah.
resistance. Just surrender to the natural shifts that are taking place synchronistically. I just took a Chiron, this class called the Chiron Code. And I had been studying, so I had a foundational understanding of what it meant, being the Chiron, being the wounded healer, and it pointing you towards wounding from, say, your upbringing or even a past life, and how that's playing out in your current reality or in this lifetime. And so I had that understanding, but she kind of broke it down to how it affects you with what house your Chiron is in, as well as what sign.
Big
So my Chiron is in Taurus, and it's in the 4th house, which is the
home.
the home, exactly.
Security,
And
upbringing.
yeah, and being the wounded, I think it's the protector, the wounded protector. And because there are parts of your upbringing or even a past life where you felt unprotected, which I know is true for me. And that breeding feelings of unworthiness, which is then where this moon energy comes in. And having that knowledge that emotionally there's some part of me that does or has felt unworthy. Okay, how does that apply to my current reality? How does that apply to how I'm showing up and how I'm feeling and how I am reacting in relationship with other people, or you know what I'm saying? So like just having
the beautiful thing about Chiron, because Chiron's lesson is, if you know the story of Chiron, which I'm sure they kind of told you in your class, is Chiron was kind of a master healer, right? He was a healer for everybody because he had a wound himself. Mm-hmm. So from our Chiron wound, if we embody and master that Chiron wound, it's like the Hungry Medium says, it's our mission work. So where Chiron is, it can really help you lead you to your mission. Why? Because you have learned to take care of that wound yourself. And so you really have built the tools or sought out the tools to help you heal that wound, so then you can share it with the collective. My Chiron is in the 10th house of public roles and career in Gemini. So just thinking about the archetype of Gemini, which is all about speaking and, communication, in the 10th house of public roles and how you shine in your career, your legacy, what you're known for. Growing up, for me, the wounding was, I was always taught to be quiet, to listen, to adults, not to communicate. I had a stutter when I was young. And so I really was subconscious of how I talked and, different things. But what I'm learning now, and as I'm showing up, and that's part of my mission work, is to really show up and to share and communicate with the collective, what my mission is, right? And what I really make my own voice known, because when I was wounded as a child, I was my voice wasn't heard, and my voice didn't want to be heard or known. And so that's kind of how that Chiron medicine is the mission work.
I love how I'm learning it, like so many things in my life, backwards. Like I'm backing into things. I'm used to it. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is. Long as I learn it.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm not worried about the trajectory of it all. Absolutely. But I'm learning it backwards because Turquoise Majesty, the name of it, the premise of it came to me in a dream. And right away, I was like, okay, Majesty, like helping people to cultivate that higher esteem, that worthiness, standing in your majesty. You know what I'm saying? Tackling like those inner child wounds so that you can stand more firmly in your majesty and put your crown on and don't take it off for nothing and nobody. So when I took that class last week, and she specified how, the worthiness being the wounding of a Chiron and Taurus in the 4th house, and it being in the 4th house, meaning the wounding came from home. It came from family. It came from being in places where you were supposed to feel safe, but for whatever reason, you didn't. And I'm like, this shit is so on point, because that is exactly the work that I do now to help cultivate worthiness in people, using the ways, hence co-creating, that I've learned to cultivate worthiness within myself. Because I can't say that it worked, you know what I'm saying, for sure, and it not been my experience.
Yeah.
So that's super dope for me, especially as one who has come through the ranks of academia and learning things, and like that diploma or that degree proving that I know what the fuck I'm talking about. But now it's like God has placed me in this arena where my life experience is the the paperwork, you know what I'm saying? It's the degree, the diploma, the way I show up and shine my light. And so I just love how Chiron teaches us, and I'm definitely wanting individuals to tap into their Chiron placement, because there are those who are like what?
Because it's not actually a planet, it's an asteroid, right? So not many people are familiar with the asteroids, and the asteroids have so much medicine. Like, I love the asteroid series and Vesta and all of them, and they have so much medicine and good things to tell us. So
absolutely. And then the other thing astrologically that I've been studying, like I had mentioned to you previously, is my North Node.
Yeah.
And that has been extremely helpful too, even in conjunction with Chiron, because now having that better understanding of, okay, you're wounded is in feeling protected and feeling worthy. And your North Node in Gemini, which is your Chiron, right? Chiron in Gemini. Yeah, my North Node being in Gemini is like, it would behoove you to move toward Gemini energy and what it is that you are doing and accomplishing, and how you are living out this wounded healer mission. You know what I'm saying? So I'm needing to see things from different perspectives. I'm needing to listen more. I'm needing to be more invested in cultivating a relationship, because coming from a South Node of Sagittarius, I'm used to being independent and traveling and seeking the truth and studying and all the things, which I do in this lifetime and am very comfortable with. But until I got familiar with the North Node, the South Node, the Chiron placement, I didn't know that if I leaned too far into those Sagittarius traits, it's actually hindering me instead of helping me.
Absolutely. Because the South Node is what we're meant to release in this lifetime. So you came into this earth with that past life experience, right? Of that Sagittarius. So that's what you're here to do, but that's like really what we need to release and what we need to purge. But really what we need to seek and set our North Node on is those Gemini things of communication and, you know, like you said, relationships and all of those things. And I think that's beautiful. Do you know what house it's in?
My North Node is in, is it the 12th? Hold on, I can find out.
It's all good. It's all good. Yeah, my North Node is actually in Pisces, in the 7th house. So
big high priestess energy.
Yeah, so my North Node in Pisces is, I came here to be very, you know, spiritual, to tap into spirituality and to partner, right? Because 7th house is all about partnerships, committed partnerships. So that's, you know, us right here. We had a commitment to come on IG Live. Right. So, you know, tapping into some of those Piscean energies, that spirituality is showing up as my North Node in Pisces in the 7th house. And so that's really what my North Star is here to do, is to cultivate these beautiful relationships with people, whether it's clients, whether my husband's actually a Pisces moon. So that kind of speaks to, and which is my descendant as well, which also speaks to relationships and who you're attracted to. But having those partnerships and commitments is really what I'm supposed to be doing in this lifetime within the spiritual realm, and just like really thinking like outside of the box and boundaryless and imaginative. And my South Node Virgo is just like, we need a system. We're going to do it this way. We're going to be really critical about that.
And Virgo is not anywhere near as emotional as Pisces.
And that's why they're opposing, right? Right. Because Virgo needs to learn the Pisces lessons. Lesson needs to learn the Virgo lessons.
I have big Pisces energy in my chart. As a matter of fact, I am a Pisces sun in sidereal, but in tropical, I am a Pisces is my Venus. And therefore, I have attracted especially a lot of Virgo men. A lot of Virgo men, and I find that I definitely, not just because I'm a woman, but because of those placements, bring the emotion to the relationship. You know what I'm saying? And in a way that if they tapped into it and kind of gleaned from it, they would kind of learn to open up and be more emotionally available and intelligent. And on the same token, they bring the groundedness. And if I could take a page from their book, learn to be more grounded and disciplined as it relates to things of a more physical matter, or even connecting with more earthly things. So again, dope things that you can pull from when you understand the planets and the placements and your birth chart. I think everybody should have their birth chart. I was able to pull up mine, but let me find what house my north node is in. It's the same as the true node, right?
Yeah. So you said your north node was in what again?
Gemini.
So wherever Gemini is in your chart, whatever house Gemini rules, that's the house that it's going to be in. Fifth house. So that's all about creativity, intimacy, love, passion.
I'm with that.
Children. How you make children?
Baby, I'm about that life, I guess. One shall see.
One shall see. And also speaking about that is interesting fact. My daughter is actually speaking about oppositions and stuff. My daughter is exactly opposing my rising sign as well as my north node. So she's a Pisces rising, and I am a Virgo rising. And she is a Gemini. Well, I'm a Gemini sun, and she's a Sagittarius sun. So she really is here, and she came here during a very powerful time in my life during my Saturn return to help me teach me some of these lessons, because I have a lot to learn from her and she has a lot to learn from me. But with that being said, we also trigger each other, right? Because we're all opposing, but we have a lot of lessons to learn from each other. So
I have to pull my mom.
Choose your parent.
Time she was born, but I need to pull her chart.
Yeah, it's really interesting to see. I'm really diving into that, and all of the connections are wild.
Yes. Because for one thing, she's a Taurus sun. So I love to think of it in terms of like I literally marinated in a Taurus womb for 9 months or so. You know, only to end up coming here and that being the not marinating in the source of in a Taurus womb, but Taurus energy being like the premise of my wounding. You know what I'm saying? So,
and your north node too, Taurus, with that vibe of. So those are some of the lessons, you know, that that your mom kind of came here to teach you.
That's why I chose her to be the vessel through which I came into this world. It's beautiful. It's really it's beautiful how that whole thing plays out. I've been reading this book to better understand the concept of being a Gemini North Node. You probably have heard of it because I think it's a really popular book in astrology. I know I had heard of it quite a bit before I started reading it, but it's Astrology for the Soul. Have you read this one? By Jan Spiller. It's dope. So it has all of the North Node placements, not specific to the houses, which is important, but it still gives you, I think it tells like generally what house that node is in. So like North Node and Libra, I guess, is generally in the 7th house.
No, not necessarily.
Okay.
The reason why they say Libra in 7th house is because Libra is the natural ruler of the 7th house.
Of the 7th house. Yeah. Okay. That makes sense. But yeah, it was giving descriptions of like the personality traits, the triggers. The author created a song that kind of embodies what being in your North Node being in that particular sign means. And she was reading my ass for 5th child.
Yeah.
It was talking about like how coming from a Sagittarius South Node, having done so much independent study and exploration and truth seeking, that you innately just know shit, you know, so you have the knowledge or even the wisdom, but appearing or projecting self-righteously is an issue in this lifetime. So connecting with others is important to be not relatable kind of,
Yeah.
you know,
And
to
that's
his
what
basics.
Gemini is. Gemini is always the student. They're always curious. They're
Yeah,
always seeking. So, releasing some of that, okay, I have so much knowledge. I know all of this to, hey, let me be curious, let me seek a little bit more.
exactly. And throughout the whole time that I was reading, I was like, yup, she read my ass for Phil, boy.
Astrology will read you. You can
Yeah,
believe it, you cannot. But once you put all the pieces together and see, there's just so many gems. And know thyself, right? And if you can know thyself,
yeah. Which is in relation to the motto for Turquoise Majesty, to thine
Mm-hmm.
own self be true. And in order to do that, like you said, you got to know yourself, and in order to know yourself, you got to dive deep into things just like this. You know what I'm saying? And so I love that we are having these conversations. Hey, Lori. I love that we are having these conversations so that those who are interested or those who didn't even know these types of things were a thing can dive deeper.
Yeah,
I'm,
so important.
I know we're about to move into a whole new month. January flew by. What
It
you
did.
think?
It did. It did. It did. It
I'm
did.
I'm gonna pull some cards for the just to kind of get a feel for the astrological energies of February, which will be here when we blink, and
Mm-hmm.
then I'm gonna defer to you to kind of expand on it a bit, as well as take us into the conversation about human design, because
Yeah.
I'm all ears for that. Whereas I know some things about astrology, I don't hardly know shit about human design other than what I've been learning from you.
Yeah, yeah. It's know thyself. It's a whole manual blueprint, energetic blueprint. It can tell you so many things. So I'm looking forward to that conversation. And today is a beautiful day in astrology, kind of while you're pulling cards too, because Venus just entered into Pisces. And so it's such a
And my
beautiful
Venus is in
time.
Pisces. Come on now.
I'm sorry.
I said, and my Venus is Pisces.
Oh, so you're going to have your Venus return
Mm-hmm.
very, very soon. So I would look at the degree where Venus is in your chart and look to see what day that Venus will return. So it's kind of like your Venus birthday.
Mm,
And love yourself up, give yourself some pleasure because it's your birthday. Really do something that you value, because to me, Venus is all about values.
awesome. So what we got with the cards is a semi-sextile energy of allowing. So
Mm.
February being a month where we are needing to allow what is coming in for us to come in. I know for me, this month has been that kind of push and pull that I've had to just surrender, wanting to get things started, do things, be in control, initiate things, work on my goals and all of that. But the energy has been chill, wait, um, relax, allow.
Yeah.
So I really see that increasing um in February, or even like what it is that we've been waiting on starting to come in or rear its head. Um Girl, I cannot make this shit up. At the top of the deck, Taurus energy, the bombshell. I'm pulling from the Numinous Astro deck. Taurus being that energy all about home, is the earth sign. So grounding, being practical, steadfast, productive. So pleasure seeking. Then you just get through talking about that Venus being in Pisces being a time for allowing yourself to enjoy pleasure. I just did a reading recently about, I think it was the last Soul Food Sundays, and I was talking about the importance of us tapping into our pleasure principle and making more time for pleasurable things. So Taurus energy being at the top of the deck and at the bottom, Chiron, healing, interesting, very interesting, especially my Chiron being in Taurus.
Exactly.
Allowing that to unfold, and I know for me, feeling worthy of the pleasure that comes in. How that's grounded.
Yes. All of that. Oh, that's beautiful. That's beautiful.
Yeah, I'm excited about February.
Yes. It's gonna be beautiful. We got Venus in Pisces till the 20th, so it's just beautiful, romantic, dreamy.
Yes.
You know.
All the love vibes.
Yeah, and it's kind of like the cool down before we get into March, because March we have a lot of big shifts coming up in March, astrologically. So yeah, enjoy February while you can, because things are going to get going in March.
And that's my birthday.
Birthday.
The 21st being, I think now it's the second day of spring, because you know how man has shifted the calendar, but it's usually the first day of spring, which is just,
how beautiful.
Yeah, I'm my mama's little flower.
Oh, that's so beautiful.
But I've really grown to understand, like, energetically what that means for me. So, like, even with the new year, like, that is my new year. You know what I'm saying? Not only is it the new year for the zodiac, with Aries being the first sign of the zodiac and that being the first day of Aries, but also it being my birthday. So the Gregorian calendar's new year is more like the fourth quarter for me. A time to start, checking in with where I am with the goals that I had previously set, and winding down, tying some loose ends, that sort of thing. But when that birthday comes, like, that's that new year where I'm really kicking things off, so to speak. So it's amazing how that has lined up for me.
Yeah, and you're really in tune with the collective. So each shift is kind of like your shift and what you're going through. So that's really beautiful.
Exactly. So yeah, babe, what you think about this semi-sextile energy?
Yeah, semi-sextile energy. What was it was in Taurus?
It was the card is just semi-sextile, which is the energy of allowing. It says encourages, sees the potential in, clarifies, gives hope to, compensates, intuits, tempers, responds, cycles, grows, realizes, and rewards. And then at the top of the deck was the Taurus energy.
Yeah. So when you think of a sextile, it's a transit. So it's always something good, like something good is happening. You can think of like two planets having sex with each other. I'm sorry.
Like that luck energy of Jupiter.
Yeah. It's good. It's a good energy. So it's just like the two planets just really coming together and really understanding each other, really kind of making love and having sex in order to do good things, for you and in your life. And so, when you have a semi-sextile energy, it speaks to exactly what you just said. So I feel that. I mean, like we talked about with the Venus and Pisces, it's kind of like it gives me some of that sextile energy. So
yeah, I could use some of that. Winter energy. Winter always. It's gotten better since I have a broader, higher understanding of things. But winter has always been like a time of the dark night of the soul for me. before I even knew what a dark night of the soul was. Like now I get it. Now I can prepare a little better for when it comes. I look forward to spring even more.
Yeah.
So aside from it being a period of like seasonal depression, where that's more of a thing, it's also for me personally more like a time of having a dark night of the soul and
that healing time.
Yeah.
That going in the subconscious, really, healing and incubating. Yeah. Hibernation.
On the charger before this thing be a wrap. Yes, I'm looking forward to that semi-six-hour energy for all of us.
Yeah.
I'm sure we could all stand to have the floodgates open up a little while.
Yes, we could. Yes, we could. I ain't mad at that. I ain't mad
at all. So tell us about human design. I am a manifester. Am I? No. I'm a generator.
Yes, you're a generator.
I'm a generator. That's all I can tell you.
Yes, you're a generator. And I have I pulled your human design chart too, so we can so we can kind of like look into it and talk about it. But human design is basically a system or a framework or a tool, just like astrology, that uses a snapshot of the sky of when you were born to kind of tell you the energetic of your inner soul, inner body. And it's a guide that can help you create success for yourself. It's a supportive tool for understanding yourself. Again, we talked about that know thyself energy. And it can also give you a better understanding of other people's energy as well. So it's a system that uses astrology, I Ching, which is an ancient Chinese system, the chakra system, as well as Kabbalah. And it's a map of our inner energy. And so you can look at the big thing in human design is your type. So your type is a generator. Mine is a manifesting generator. There's also manifestors, and there are projectors and reflectors. So those are the types. And you can also go into profiles, and profiles are a snapshot of your inner self and your role, the role that you play in this world. So we talked about that North Node and that South Node energy, and that's kind of what your profiles are as well. And so, for example, mine is a 3-6. So 3 is the energy of the martyr. So I'm really here to learn and to do things and experiment. And then the 6 energy is the role model. So from base of what I learned, I'm here to kind of
share for others.
Yeah, and share that information with others. And so that's kind of like just the energy. And then you can also look at your authority, and your authority can tell you how to make aligned decisions. So for me, I have an emotional wave. And so when a decision is approached to me, it's really good for me to maybe sleep on it, wait till my emotional wave rides the wave. If you have a sacral wave, that's really telling you to listen to your gut, listen to what your gut says. If you have a splenic wave, you get that instant hit of like that inner knowing, I know what I need to do, and it's clear. And if you have a lunar wave, which is for our reflectors, you kind of have to not necessarily wait a lunar cycle, but once you do wait a whole lunar cycle, you really understand, because they really take in the energy of the collective, because they're meant to take in that all of their centers are undefined. So they're meant to take in all of that information so that they can reflect it back to us and what we need. So sometimes if you're a reflector, and they're only 1% of the population, so they're very, very rare and special human beings. And
are they very empathic? Just hearing it makes me think that, like, a lot of us are empaths, but if you are a reflector, I imagine from how you describe it that they're very empathic, because like
they are
taking in everything and then they project it back out.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And an example of a reflector is Michael Jackson. Michael Jackson was a reflector. So if you just think about that energy, he really had a pulse on the collective and was able through his music to kind of reflect on what the collective needed and the beautiful music. And that's why it resonated with so many people around the world.
That poor baby. Lord have mercy.
Say what?
Imagine having that
Imagine.
kind of like
Exactly. And
life.
that's why I love exactly. That's why I love human design, because it helps you see the God in people. It helps you see why they are the way they are, why their energy is the way they are. And with reflectors, their environments it's very, 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 very important, because again, they're taking in all the energy. So people laugh that Never Never Land, he created Never Never
for Neverland being such a child.
He needed that. He needed that energy, that childlike energy, because other people weren't constantly projecting things on him. It's that, that childlike, the surprise and the delight, which is also something that reflector likes. Yeah.
Yeah. Girl, that's good. That's good right there.
Yeah. Want me to kind of go give an example of each type? I think when you're looking at human design, the first thing that you want to look into is your type. So to see what type you are, like you're a generator and I'm a manifesting generator. So I can give like a little recap of each of those types, if you think that would be helpful.
Girl, do you, boo? It's all you. I'm just soaking it in. Like,
okay.
all I'm missing is the popcorn.
Okay, cool. So your type, and so the person who channeled this kind of system, but I believe it's an ancient system, he just channeled it. He says, in an ideal world, manifestors are here to get things started. Projectors are here to guide the process. Generators and manifesting generators are here to provide the energy and to realize and to complete all of the things. And reflectors are here to tell us how everything is going. Right. So keeping that in mind, I'll talk about each of the types and manifestors. Let's start with manifestors because they're the initiators. They're 10% of the population, and their strategy is here to inform us, here to initiate, here to get things started. They're the trailblazers. When you think about manifesting, you're getting things started, you're manifesting energy. And so so with each type, there's a not self theme. So when you notice your not self theme coming up, that's kind of like a trigger. Like, okay, I need to get back into my type to help initiate. I'm sorry.
Reel it in.
Yeah, reel it in. Exactly. And their non-self theme is anger. So when they're feeling anger, they know that they're in their non-self theme. And again, so they're just really here to inform us, to help drive us forward towards momentum, to get us to where we need to go. They have really strong influence. And a famous manifestor is Maya Angelou. So that is the manifestor energy. You just think of Maya Angelou. She really came to initiate, to get things started, to help us think, with our minds outside of the box, to help inform us. And boy, did she, right?
And I have studied her. So I got pictures of her in the house, and I love her. And I love her interviews. I love her voice. I can just drive and listen to her interviews. And one thing that I don't think I ever saw, she could be passionate and get you together, but not show anger.
That we know of.
That we know. Yeah, I'm pretty sure,
yeah.
in a personal life, she would get them together.
Right.
But
for what she was here to initiate?
No. You did not see anger. It takes me back to that. She did an interview where the girl had called her Maya, and she was like,
she's like, oh, hold up,
no ma'am,
no ma'am. You, young lady, I am your grandmother, your auntie.
All that. Come again.
I love her. It's a beautiful, grounded, peaceful way, right?
Yep.
Good point.
You didn't see the anger, but she still got it done. You know what I'm saying? She got her point across, and you knew when she was passionate about something when she was talking. But again, like, you just didn't see You seldom saw, if ever, I don't recall ever seeing in her doing her work, anger.
Yeah.
Which, you know, even though we in a different time with different types of people, we see that all the time now.
It's true. It's true. It's true. Oh, that's beautiful. That's a beautiful reflection. So next is the generators, which is you. And generators are 33% of the population, and they are our life force. They are our creators. They're here to create, to help us build, to bring things, new things into life, to see things through fruition, to get people on board. You're really here to like promote that, right? And you talked about that, to really help get people on board. So your strategy is to respond. So when you see something like Chiron, it's like, okay, I need to respond to this. I need to help get people on board about their mission. Allow opportunities to come to you. Opportunities will naturally come to you. And when they naturally come to you and you respond to them based on your inner authority, which is your sacral, right? If something feels good in your gut and you respond to that, beautiful alignment. That's how you can use your human design beautifully, by allowing things to come to you. And if it really feels good in your gut, creating and really initiating, well, not initiating because that's the manifestors, but really creating and building things around it, making sure that everybody's on board and everybody's really understanding what's going on, and really magnetizing some of the things that come to you.
Advice comes in with that is not only my Sagittarius South Node of seeking, going out seeking, also I'm a Aries Sun, which is very much an initiating energy, first in the zodiac, leading, you know what I'm saying? And so that really makes that generator energy, like falling into in alignment with that, even more interesting, because whereas before I had this understanding along with wisdom that I've learned along, you know, lessons and experiences up to this point, I'm gonna go get her. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna go create the opportunity. And now that, like I said, this energy of this month of wanting to take off and hit the ground running and achieve your goals and all that, and it's like the opportunity is going to come to you. Sit down, rest, chill, wait.
Exactly. Maybe not necessarily initiate, but just again, just allowing that to come to you. And then when something feels good in your gut, activating what's your north node again? Gemini. Exactly. Curious, and activating that and communicating that out to the collective, and really amplifying some of that energy of what you learned. And so that's that energy, just like really being on a stage, just like magnetizing, sharing your energy. And your non-self theme is frustration. So when you're feeling frustration, that's when you know something's not right. And famous generators are Oprah and J-Lo. So when you think about that magnetizing energy, they're really able to shine and be on that stage and really amplify their energy to bring things to life and to get people on board. So that is generator.
I love it.
Yeah. And then next is me, manifesting generator. So I'm not
in your business.
Yeah. So I'm not only a manifester, so not only can I initiate, but I can generate as well. So manifesting generators never sit still. They're always out doing things. And one thing about generators, just going back to generators, which I want to go back to, if something doesn't feel right in your gut, in your soul, don't push it. When you do, it's just not good for nobody. Don't push it. Just allow it. Let it be. And then when something feels right in your gut, in your soul, don't push it. When you do, it's just not good for nobody. Don't push it. Just allow it. Let it be. And then when something feels right in your gut, in your soul, don't push it. When you do, it's just not good for nobody. Okay. It's not good for anybody. So if it really doesn't feel right for you, you know, really listen to your body, really listen to your inner authority and honor that. Generators need time away to kind of like recharge their body so that they can get some of that creativity out there. And I know this because my husband is a generator. So when I really learned that about him, because I am a manifesting generator, so I can bounce from one thing to another and go, 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 go. But generators really need that time and really need to make sure it feels right for them versus to amplify some of that energy. So the manifesting generators are the multi-passionates. They're capable of multitasking, doing all the things, creating energy, and also manifesting that energy and starting that energy in the world. 33% of the population, and their strategy is to explore, to play, to create, to tap into all the things, to look at all the things, and to find like a sustainable solution for things as well. They feel energized when they're exploring different things. And one thing about manifesting generators, they might dabble in a lot of things, but they might see nothing to fruition, nothing to completion, and know that that's okay because that is your strategy. That's how you're designed. The world, capitalism might say, oh, no, 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 you need to finish this project. You need to see it out into fruition. But manifesting generators are here to get curious, try it out. If it doesn't work, you know, bounce on to the next one. That's really what their energy is here to kind of do.
I
And
was
come
dating one. Girl, you ain't lying.
to what?
I was dating one.
Oh,
You ain't lying.
for real?
Yes, when I tell you, he would have 50, 11 things going on, and you know, felt fulfilled, and I didn't like it. I think the one thing that did stand out from what you just said was he lacked play.
Like what?
Play. It was work,
Play.
work, and all the
Oh,
different
like play, yeah.
like that was play for him, you know.
It
And
is.
yeah, that was play for him, and I was like, oh, well, I guess.
Exactly. And that's exactly what my generator husband says.
Yeah.
Because we're all over the place and you're just like a little bit more grounded, a little bit more stable. Like, okay, I'm not really out here to do all the things. I'm just here to respond. Things come to me. I don't need to go out and initiate and do all of the things. And so the manifesting generators are Prince, Jimi Hendrix, and Tony Robbins. So you think about all of the multi-passionate things that, you know, they have done and out there, you know, foot into, but it's still kind of like under this big umbrella of what they're doing. Like you think of Prince, you know, tapping into all the music things and politics and acting, all of those things, but he was still Prince, right? You know, and Tony Robbins, all of the things that he does and under this big umbrella.
And all of them are like, I mean, everybody you name is a leader. But when I think of Prince and Tony Robbins, they really stand out as like people who like to work. Like I know I've watched interviews of different artists who talk about how Prince would call them and be like giving them unsolicited advice. You know what I'm saying? I don't know that to be the truth about Tony Robbins, but I can imagine he's probably similar in terms of talking to him. You always gonna get some nuggets. You know what I'm saying? So I think that's probably a manifestor generator thing too.
For sure, because we're always exploring, always trying out, always seeking, and and you know all of those things. And you speak about unsolicited advice or solicited advice. Let's talk about our projectors, because projectors are actually not here to. They're really here. They're the main ones that want to give solicited advice, right, or unsolicited advice, but they're you got to be careful. You're really not supposed to, because they know the process. They see the process. They know how to get it done. They see me out here balling, trawling on different things. And they're like, girl, you need to get together. This is how you do it. This is how you do it. This is how you do it. But they can't do that until I give the invitation. they can only respond once an invitation is given. So the projectors are the seers, they're the guides, they're the people that process things and to tell you how things should be improved. They're 20% of the population. Their energy is to guide us, to bring focus, to approve things, to accomplish things, and it can kind of deal with techie things as well. Their strengths are managing and directing others. They're insightful, intuitive. Their energy is focused on improving things, so improving the system. Their strategy is to wait for recognition and wait for invitation, because again, they know automatically how to improve a process, but they really, again, because you don't want it to backfire on you, you really need to wait for that invitation. And when you wait from that invitation, oh my goodness, such a beautiful thing can happen. And if you're interested in learning a little bit and diving a little bit deeper with human design, my podcast co-host, we have a podcast called The Transformative Circle. We have somebody, a human design expert, and she came in and talked about each human design type and really what they're here to do. And my co-host was a projector. So we really worked well together because I had all of the ideas, I had all the things, but she was able to tell me, you know, exactly how to get the things right and how the process would go when I would give her an invitation. So we really had a great understanding of our human design type. It's like, okay, Amanda, I need your advice. This is your invitation. And she's like, okay. But she knew she would constantly hear me talk and hear me say things, but she wouldn't respond necessarily unless I asked her for those advice. So that's the one good thing to know about.
It's like knowing your role, staying in your place.
Yeah. And once you play your role and stay in your lane, you'll see how magnetic and how natural and how beautiful things will be, rather than trying to swim upstream. You're just going with the flow because that's how you're designed. And, you know, that's how the other person's designed. So it's just beautiful, beautiful, beautiful energy. And the projector's non-self theme is bitterness. So when they feeling that bitterness, you know, that's when you know. And famous projectors are the Obamas. So Michelle and Barack Obama are both projectors.
When you said what did you say their trigger is?
Their trigger? Their trigger, bitterness?
Bitterness. It made me think about resentment. And so I'm thinking of it more along the lines of like, I can see that bitterness forming as a result of resentment. Say you give somebody good advice and they don't take it, but then it was unsolicited. You know what I'm saying? I can see when you veer off into doing that, not abiding by the kind of rule of wait till they ask you. I can see them then feeling like,
bitter.
Screw you then. You know what I'm saying? And being bitter. So I kind of get that connection for sure.
And frustration for a manifesting generator, because when we're not able to tap into all the things or being confined in one box, that's frustrating. We don't want to do that, right? So yeah, the Obamas are the projectors, and last but not least, certainly not least, are our reflectors, and they're only 1% of the population. 1% of the population. So the reflectors are here. They're the shapeshifters. They're wise, super wise. They're here to mirror the collective's energy for what we are not aware of. They see things that we will never see. They reflect what's working and what's not working, and they can also improve a system to help it support the collective because they want to see the collective thrive. Their strategy is to wait a lunar cycle, to have lots of patience and intentionality, to find your own cycle or a cycle that works for you, and to have a full understanding of your feelings, because again, they're getting everybody's energy, everybody's feelings. So it takes them a little bit longer to really process, to see what's the collective's feeling and what's mine. And after this whole lunar cycle, I know what I need to reflect out. I know I have a full understanding of what's kind of going on. That's why patience and intentionality is so important. Their non-self theme is disappointment. So when the environment is feeling negative or things aren't going the way that, you know, they feel or they see that it should, um, it's disappointing because they want to see the collective healed, and they want to see that harmony and that beauty. So, and I've found because I've been blessed to, and it's really interesting. I've been blessed to have a lot of reflectors in my circle. Um, and my heart just goes out to them because they really do feel that energy, and it can affect them. Their environment is so important. Like I talked about that earlier. Their environment is so important. So keeping a clean, clear environment, making sure that you have friends and family and situations around you that are honoring, you know, your intuition and your wisdom and your deep wisdom. And we can't take them for granted because so many people do. And we just really, 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 really can't. We really can't. I have a family member that's a projector or a reflector, and I saw firsthand how much they needed to be cared for, in their environment was so important, and how it affected them negatively because it wasn't.
Do you think that concepts like the law of detachment or practicing witness consciousness is a help or maybe a hindrance for reflectors?
I think it's a help, like constantly being in tune with energy, constantly cleansing, constantly doing those things again, because you're picking up some of the energetic link. I mean, they have all of their centers opened. We might have, you know, one or two centers open. So we're still getting some of that energetic link, but they're getting blocked. So constantly cleansing and I definitely feel that.
You know, and that makes me think that a lot of people who have been diagnosed with like mental illness and stuff like that, it's possible that they are reflectors, and because they are absorbing so much, and the state of the environment is so important, and they have not maybe mastered the law of detachment or the or the concept of witness consciousness may be a contributing factor to what has been diagnosed as mental, or even what I like to call emotional illness. So that's interesting too. You know, I'm a doctoral program dropout, and so aside
of that is super important to reflectors because it affects how they eat. Like they can't even eat around people a lot of the time.
I think that deserves research. You know what I'm saying? But because it's possibly something that can't be capitalized on, the likelihood of that being invested in, that research, you know, is slim. But I think that does deserve a deeper look.
For sure. Imagine a kid being in school trying to navigate these environments. Imagine being the biggest pop star of the world trying to navigate these type of environments. And so it's very important. Let's see.
Somebody dangling their baby off of a balcony with something over their head. You know what I'm saying? Like that makes sense. It's in alignment with that type of energy.
That's why, like, this is so important. Having this conversation is so important because we really need to understand each other. We really need to see each other. And I really, really, truly believe, and the person who channeled this really feels like we're entering into a new shift, a new paradigm where work environments, right? Imagine creating a team that has a manifestor, that has a generator, that has a reflector. Oh my goodness, when I build my business and when I have a team, that's the first thing I'm looking for. Right. You know, I'm looking to see who's going to initiate for me. I can't make sure I get all the work done, but who's going to reflect some of that back to me? I need to make sure I got a projector on my team so that they can really show us how the process should be done. You know, in school, knowing that a reflector in their environment is very, very important. So in the schoolroom, they might want to eat in the grass or in the bathroom away from everybody, right? Knowing that
it can be more productive.
Yeah, exactly. Knowing that the projector is always going to, want an opinion, right? Knowing that the manifesting generator probably can't sit still. All of that is so important. And as I'm raising a child, I'm making sure that her teachers and her guardians are aware. I might not use the language of human design. I truly believe that soon we will be able to, but I really, in layman's terms, try to communicate this to people and her guardians, because this is something that we need to know, and I think can make the collective more empathetic. And
right. Instead of some devices and quick to see one another as different or outside of, you know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
We have those things that come with common and have more compassion, or even if you don't have it in common, to just be understanding, have some, not tolerance per se, but empathy.
Exactly. Empathy. And that's so big in all relationships. In all relationships. So even just like I was speaking earlier, my relationship for my husband, really understanding that he's not going to want to get up and go out to do something, like randomly. He's not going to want to dive into all of these different things. He needs that time to recharge, to create, to do that energy, right? So knowing, really understanding that he's a generator and I'm a manifesting generator. So we have different strategies. We have different, things, and really understanding that along with astrology, knowing that he's a Taurus and, he's going to be grounded, and he's kind of got this artistic side with his Pisces moon, and very intuitive, and as well, all of that is just so important, so we can really better understand each other, understand ourselves and our children as well. They say that you're not born with a manual, but you actually are. And human astrology,
if you date me, I need that birth chart. Run me that time. Like, I need to have that type of understanding now that I understand myself on that level.
And it starts there first. Like, I don't need your time. I don't need any of that stuff if you don't understand yourself first.
Exactly.
Because you really have to understand yourself first.
Because me understanding you and you don't understand yourself ain't doing much good at all, and I can't make you. So yeah, that definitely has to be there. Greetings, the Wise Loctician. Hey, everybody that has joined us since we've been breaking it down about human design. I've been so much tuned in. I ain't said hey to nobody. I did the little wave thing. That counts.
So much fun. It's been so much fun.
So that's all of
them? Yeah, that's all of them. So yeah, the performance I already said was Michael Jackson, and they're energetically sensitive, and they know, reflectors, what it means to tap in to the information and the collective and what's around them. And there's no other energy type that can relate to this, but they come with many gifts and many challenges. And boundaries are just so important for reflectors. So really having those boundaries, having those shieldings, having those, protections, all of those are just really so important. So yeah, those are all of the types. And if you're interested in learning more about it, you can, again, you just need your birth information, and you can go to mybodygraph.com, and there you can pull your chart and kind of see what's going on. And I also do
I was gonna say, I don't want them to go to the website. I want them to come to you. So tell them how they can find you.
Yeah. So I really feel like again, just knowing yourself, knowing who you are, can really help you understand yourself, and really set you in line for your purpose and your dharma. If you believe in that, it just can help with everything, I feel. I'm testing I agree. So because of that, I have a couple of offerings. I have like I call it the top three, or your top three, which is your sun, moon, and rising, in astrology. And so what my offering is I can pull those for you, and show you where your sun is. I pull the house, the information, when it's vibing high, when it's vibing low. I'll give some journaling questions that you can dive a little bit deeper into to help you understand that placement. And that's for your sun, moon, and rising. I do it all in a beautiful Notion dashboard. So you can always have to do. So if somebody says, okay, where's your Chiron in? You could just pull it up real quick. You don't gotta log into an app or anything. And I do the same thing with human design. So I'll go over your authority, I'll go over your type, and I'll go over your profile, giving you some examples of how to use those, and when it's vibing high, when it's vibing low, and how it can really help you be aligned with your energetic system and your blueprint, and really what you came on the earth to do. And so if you're interested in that, we can definitely talk about it. You can reach out to me. I do have a website. I'm revamping my website and my offerings right now. So we can always just do a discovery call. And when those come out, I'll be sure to send those over. But you can find me. And I do also talk a lot about human design on my YouTube channel. I am a fellow card diviner as well, and so I pull cards based on each human design type and do readings based on each human design type. So I just actually posted a message for each type today, if you want to check that out, and that's at youtube.com/@Zen Wellness Space. And you can find me at Zen Wellness Space, and that's also my website, so zenwellnessspace.com.
Y'all check out my sister if you are wanting to dive deeper into or discover your human design, as well as astrology and any of the other offerings that she has available. I'm so excited to see the finished product of the website and the new offerings and service menu, because I will be partaking. You know, you have my full support. I love you to life.
Oh, same.
And I have really enjoyed this. We will definitely do it again. I'm coming over to your channel.
Yes.
Okay.
Our YouTube live. That would be fun.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm down, girl. I'm always down for the camaraderie and the co-creating. So for those of you who came in after the bulk of the conversation came in on the tail end, I will be posting the playback on my YouTube channel, Turquoise Majesty. So you can
100. Congrats on 100.
Oh, thank you, girl. I'm at 122.
Oh, okay.
Look at God. I am so in a season where I am celebrating all the wins. The little ones, the mediums, the big ones, all the wins.
You have to.
And so I'm excited about that 122, because I think I might have been I was in the 70, between like 70 and 90 range for about a year. So it's good to see the pendulum swing a bit. I'm looking forward to more growth in this new year, as well as for you. I'm looking forward to learning more about human design and all the other things that you are bringing forth for the collective. So thank you, because as a fellow spiritualist and teacher, I totally understand what it takes for us to show up in this way. So I have the utmost respect for what it is that we do. And thank you so much for joining me.
Oh, so much love and so much respect. Thank you for doing what you do with Turquoise Majesty and really living your chart and really diving in and living your design, and you're out here doing the thing. And one thing about when you're living in alignment and living out your chart, you know, things come easily for you. You're swimming downstream versus the effort is trying to push upstream. So kudos to you for doing all of the things. I wish you so many blessings and success in the year to come, and all of the things that you value during your Venus return. Happy Venus return.
So now I'm about to tell my business before we go.
Okay.
Look, when you did my reading, I had the Two of Cups.
Yes.
In the future. Come on, Venus and Pisces. Let's go.
That Two of Cups was in the future.
She was just sitting there minding her business in that beautiful deck you were using.
Right. It's coming back to me.
Yeah, girl.
What did she do? We talked about that. She waited.
She waited.
We talked about that even before I knew your design. Okay.
Yeah. I look forward to setting it up with you. Okay, on the back end for one of our Kiki sessions. Okay. Like I said, if y'all want to check out the playback, I'll probably have it on YouTube by tomorrow. And it'll probably be on Instagram until then, so you'll be able to check out the awesome exchange in its entirety. But with that being said, y'all, peace.